From a stray dog breaking into a gorilla's enclosure, to a tiny turtle standing up to 2 fully grown lions, here are 30 times animals messed with the wrong opponent. This dog accidentally wandered into the gorilla enclosure at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park and ended up paying the price for it. Luckily though, the gorilla stops once the dog is off its property, kind of like the grumpy old man in everyone's neighborhood. Not even John Woo could come up with an action sequence as crazy as this. A wildebeest found itself trapped between a hungry family of lions and a river. Despite the seemingly impossible situation, the brave animal shows off its agility and bravery to narrowly avoid becoming dinner. And did you see it walk on water just there? Insane! These 2 thirsty lions were interrupted mid-drink by an unlikely hero, a feisty turtle who wasn't afraid to stand up to the kings of the jungle. The lions do seem a little surprised at first, and you can't really blame them, but they soon got back to quenching their thirst while the persistent turtle lingers nearby. He might not have been able to chase them away, but he definitely showed them who's the boss of this watering hole. This little Yorkie might look tiny, but it's got the heart of a lion. A crocodile was sure it was having beef for lunch, but this ambitious buffalo had other plans. That's one tough cow. This rhino tried to sneak up behind a giraffe, but he was forgetting one thing. These animals can kick with more force than an SUV going 30 miles per hour. Sure found that out quick enough though. He won't be remembering much after this. Well, maybe except for this lesson. This encounter is a great example of how size doesn't always make a difference, or even numbers for that matter. Despite the odds being against its favour, this feisty honey badger puts up one hell of a fight and trots off as if nothing had happened, probably leaving the 3 leopards to rethink their life decisions. Call this speed, quick reflexes, or just plain old luck, one thing's for sure, the way that this buck dodges that croc is insane. You know what they say? Don't bite off more than you can chew. Well, from the looks of it, someone probably should have told this alligator that, because he's caught himself in quite the predicament. It's hilarious, he simply stops trying at the end. These stray dogs had a lot to say when the Rottweiler wasn't doing anything, but when it actually started fighting back, that's when the situation escalated, and not in a good way. For the strays, of course. If there's one creature that strikes fear into all farm animals' hearts, it's the vicious hyena. But this tough donkey didn't care about the canine's reputation and put him in his place. Giraffes may seem super chill, but when it comes down to business, boy, can these animals get feisty. And flexible, apparently. Just as this bird was about to pounce on what it thought was an easy lunch, but as it turns out, this spider was a cleverly disguised snaketail all that time. The lioness thought she could make quick work of a distracted hippo. Unluckily for her, the hippo wasn't distracted enough to not fight back, and the encounter soon turned into an all-out brawl. Surprisingly, the lion still manages to escape with its head still screwed onto its body. Orcas are one of the smartest animals on the planet. Don't believe it? Well, here's your proof. Genius and terrifying at the same time. These otters thought it would be fun to mess around with an orangutan. The ape doesn't seem to bother, but it's clear he'd prefer them to leave him alone. A group of bears was looking for their next meal when they stumbled across a delicious-looking cat. But this old kitty wasn't messing around and spoiled all their plans before they could really even get started. Elephants may have great PR, but here's the thing. They can be very aggressive, especially when they're defending their territory. In this case, an elephant almost causes a mother rhino to topple over her child with more than 3,000 pounds of her weight. The baby somehow survived. There are 3 things that never end: the universe, time, and a cat's self-belief. But hey, what's the problem if they can back it up? This fierce kitty just showed an alligator 5 times its size who's boss. This horse may have footwork like Muhammad Ali, but unfortunately this rooster's got better defense skills than Mayweather. Everyone knows Australia has some of the craziest wildlife on Earth, but it turns out it's also home to some of the craziest people on Earth too. We mean that in a good way, of course, because this brave man isn't trading fists with a kangaroo just for the fun of it. He's actually trying to save his dog. Move over, toddlers, because this is how you throw a real tantrum. Aren't you a little old to be doing all that, bud? Also, there's like the same kind of tree right next to you. This goose just wouldn't stop annoying a horse that would much rather just mind its own business. So, he decides to put an end to the problem. This dog was all bark and no bite when it decided to bully an iguana. However, once the lizard finally snaps, it's pretty much game over for the canine. Just because pelicans eat rodents doesn't mean they can just go around trying to swallow capybaras whole. If you've ever wondered whether regular orange tigers are the same as their albino counterparts, this might answer your question. They seem pretty equally matched to us. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. The kill count between these two animals is over 700 people every year, which makes this epic battle seem all that more terrifying. This black bear wandered into someone's backyard and decided to help itself to the bird feeder. What it didn't know was that it had caught the attention of the home's security system, their dog. The canine bravely fights the intruder and forces it off its territory. These napping lions got the jump scare of a lifetime when their peaceful sleep was disturbed by the noise of 2 massive rhinos coming their way. Kind of weird seeing the presumed kings of the jungle running away like that, but can you really blame them? Those rhinos really do look terrifying. This lion got turned upside down, inside out, and literally every other way after it decided to mess with the wrong wildebeest. It's insane how the bull doesn't even seem to care about the fact that there's a second lion clamped down to the back of its leg. Talk about having a thick skin. Alright, let us pull up some more videos you do not want to miss out on. Consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.